Deanna, your face stylist, here for a quick car chronicle educational moment. Hope you guys are blessed and highly favored as I am. If you are breathing, your cup is overflowing. You got enough to give to somebody else. Most times. Anyways, my allergies are acting up today. And so my educational moment for this morning, I want to talk about setting the tone for your business, right? So, if you're running a business, you should have an idea of, and when I say business, I'm talking about beauty professional business. That's what I do, but this can relate to other businesses as well. If you're running a professional environment, there is a certain vision that you had for it, a certain way people will behave, react, and respond in that environment for you to get a desired result of how you want things done, for you to get a predicted perceived notion of how you want people to think about your business, aka your brand. And you have to strategically put things in place, right? And so you want to, before people get to your business, set the tone, right? So in the beauty industry, we want people to come in, we want people to get their hair done, we want people to be happy, but there's a certain culture that goes with each and every individual as a booth renter or as an actual salon, right? And so with that being said, there's certain things that you may want to have in place. So for example, I will use my business. My business attracts a lot of business professionals, right? We have a lot of ladies that come in and they are leaders of nonprofits. They are principals. They are doctors. They are lawyers. They are, entrepreneurs and things of that nature. They're people that are in meetings and all of these things. And so that's one thing I like to take into consideration. And I like to attract those type of clients because those type of clients typically have more secure lifestyles where they have additional lucrative income where they can splurge on themselves and get services done. They can go and they can afford to get their nails done. They can afford to come in, 1 to 2 times or 3 times or 4 times a month and get their hair done, and it just be a normal part of their routine, right? Because they're a part of a certain financial bracket that allows them to be able to do that. Well, in my opinion, people in certain brackets enjoy, appreciate, give or take. There are your rule of thumbs or your people that are against the rule of thumb or your whatever, your off people or whatever. But for the most part, I have found that they enjoy privacy. I haven't found that they have enjoyed, you know what, I think I'm rambling, but I think I'm right in some ways. There are certain clients that enjoy privacy, peace and quiet, controlled environment, so that they feel secure and it's not a lot going on. I like to cater to women that are parents, right? And their only time of peace and quiet, mommy time, is when they come in and they get their hair done, right? So for these reasons, I have things set in place like I request that clients come in with earbuds whenever they come in, so that there's not 10 different telephones doing 10 different noises at one time, which could be quite like, it could sound like a gnat or children fussing and getting on your nerves, right? Also, I ask that people use clean language, right? Because the name of the game is client retention. And if you're offending any one client, you cannot retain them. right? And so these are just examples of some things that I do in my salon. Now, does it work all the time? No, you cannot control every single thing that people do, but you can minimize what you don't want happening in your professional environment by setting the tone before your customers get there, right? Ways that you set the tone. One, you are your business. You represent your business. You are your business brand. You are the face of your business. Everything about your business filters through you, right? So how you dress, how you carry yourself, how you respond to people in a public environment, how you represent yourself on social media sets the tone for how people will respect your business. It sets the tone for how serious people will take your business. It sets the tone for how many cancellations you may get, right? I truly believe that when you present yourself as a professional, a well-polished, responsible, reliable person, people take you seriously. You tend to have less cancellations. You tend to have less no-shows, right? Because if you just, I don't even want to get into how you could misrepresent your business and what you desire. But you guys, you know it when you're online and you're behaving a certain type of way, you're putting too much of your personal business or too much of your unhealthy personal habits online, it affects your clientele, okay? So you have to watch how you represent yourself on social media. That even works with when you're in a different industry and you're trying to get a job. People are checking social media nowadays. So if you're on social media doing too much of this and talking all of this and talking all of that, people will cancel you before you even get started in their job, okay? Another thing is that when you answer the phone when people call you, if you're using your personal telephone, if you want to be taken seriously more times than not, you want to treat your phone as a business phone if that's the phone number that you're giving out. What I see a lot of beauty professionals do is they treat their personal cell phone as their business phone. So when they answer the phone, it's a hello. It's not a, thank you for calling Melvira's Hair Studio. You're just simply saying hello. Or it's, at least polish it up and say, if it's an unknown number, it's not your family member. Say, hello, how can I help you? You have to sound perky. You have to sound welcoming. You have to sound like you're a professional, because there's so many people scamming and scheming nowadays that when I call somebody for a service and they just say, hello, I'm turned off already. I'm thinking ghetto. I'm thinking ratchet. I'm thinking, here we go again. Is she going to be on time? Is she going to have all of her supplies? Is the service going to be good? Is she really going to care? What type of environment am I going to be in, right? When you're dealing with high quality people that care about what type of environment they are in, they are listening to those cues. And that is just 100% a fact. There are the people, within every desired clientele, there are your people that are, just random people that they may fit in that bracket, but they may not care about those things. But generally speaking, right, you have to think generally speaking when it comes to building and retaining a clientele, because at the end of the day, we're in this profession to pay our bills, right? Another thing is, whenever you set up your voicemail, you gotta check it. You gotta check it. You gotta check your messages and your voicemails. And if you can't get to your phone within a certain amount of time on your voicemail, you need to state, you've called Melvira's Hair Studio. Unfortunately, we are honoring the time of another client right now. We will get back with you within 24 to 48 hours, which means, okay, you got 2 days to get back to that person, and that is okay, right? But you also give them another option. If that doesn't work for you, text message us if you want a quicker response. But that means you got to really be responding to your text messages. Now once you get to that point to where it's too difficult to check voicemails, it's too difficult to check text messages and DMs and all the ways that people reach out to us, you got to get some automated systems set up to do those things for you. You have to consolidate all of your messages. For instance, if you're on social media, maybe you need to be using the Meta Suite in order to have all of your messages from all of your social medias going to one inbox, right? So your TikTok, your Instagram, your Facebook, your all of the things, your X, or all of that, you need to have those all directed to one inbox, because it does get crazy when it's like Snapchat is me. Snapchat gets me all the time. I almost never check Snapchat DMs. So I have offended a client or two because they'll see me on a Snapchat snapping, but then I won't answer the Snapchat. I'm like, I don't have time to sit here and go through all of these messages. So I have them all directed to one. I still haven't connected Snapchat to that for whatever reason. I don't even know if it can. But anyway, that's one thing there. Oh, Lord, I look like I got a client here super early. Somebody here. So I'm going to have to this video later because we got clients sitting outside. They're here super early. It's about 20 minutes before, so I'll continue this video and I'll do a part 2. But so far, you need to watch how you're represented to set the tone, because you're setting the tone for people to respect you enough to respect your environment, to show up to your appointments, to respect you to cancel at least 24 hours in advance, to respect you enough to refer clients and enjoy themselves. You're setting the tones for all of these positive things to be a fruit of your business. And it starts before you meet the client, not during and while you're dealing with them. So we're gonna have to do a part 2 because there's a bunch of different ways to set the tone for your business. I think it's about 5 of them, but there's a plethora of different things. So we're gonna get in the salon. My watch don't even work. I just put it on so I can make sure that I go get a battery for it today. So anyway, it's 8:41. Clients are here early, and I like that because that means I can get started early and get some things going. It's cold, and I'm sure there's one lady standing outside, and then there's another lady sitting in her car that I think is my client. So I appreciate them being early. Always pack books. Ask me, do I ever have time to read them? No, I don't. Anyway, we're going to do a part 2. You guys have a great day, and shout out to Dutch Brothers for great customer service today.